Really? I'm sitting on the floor. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm literally wearing sweatpants, my sweatshirt, and my fuzzy socks, and I've been wearing this outfit for like 4 days. That was dramatic, like 2 days. But I've been pretty sick, so I'm sorry that I'm posting this like a little late. I tried to do my hair and like put on some mascara to make me feel like a little bit more put together for this video, but yeah, I'm sorry if I am a little bit out of it because I'm still feeling like crap. But today we're gonna be doing my October reading wrap up. I'm super excited about this. I have, how many books? I only have 6 books, okay? I took a little bit of a break sometime in the month because I read A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and after that I was just kind of in a little bit of a slump because I had a book hangover, essentially. I'm trying to pull out my notes so that I can see. Here we go. I got all these notes about what I read in October. I kind of forgot to write things down for the last 2, but that's okay. So first, like I said, I read the ACOTAR series in September / beginning of October. But I did read A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is one hefty book, that's for sure. This is the last book in the series, and it's not from the same perspective than all the other books. All the other books are in first person and from Farah's point of view. This book is from third person and is kind of from like Nesta and Cassian's point of view, if you know who they are or if you read the series. That was one thing I didn't really understand. Like, I knew it was from Nesta and Cassian's point of view, but I didn't understand why they randomly just did this book in third person. It didn't like deter me from the book, but yeah, I just didn't understand that. I don't know why she did that, but who am I to judge? One thing about this book is it is kind of spicy. I've read some books with those kinds of scenes in it, but this one was a little intense, I will have to say. I was a little sad that it wasn't going to be Farah and Rice and like their story because I love them so much. Yes, that's how I say their names. Don't come for me, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I was excited, especially how like the end, A Court of Wings and Ruin, ended with Nesta and Cassian. I was just really excited to like see their relationship further, not just their relationship, but Nesta as a character. So my camera just shut off, I don't know why. She just had so much depth to her as a character already, and she was just so complicated, and so just her in general, I was excited to read about her further. After reading it, I am 100% a Nesta fan. I love her so much. I think I relate to her in a lot of different ways. Not all of them, but in a lot of ways I feel like I relate to her. And I feel like it really touched on the part of like dealing with trauma that's not really romanticized. Like, it is a little bit because there is romance in here, but it really showed like the hardest parts of her dealing with her trauma. I'm gonna rate this one a good 4.5. I really like this book, and I was really intimidated by it because it's so big. Like thoroughly enjoyed every single second of it, and even after reading all these pages, I was not ready for it to end, and that's how you know it's a good book. The next one we have is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I don't know how to say it. I read this book after ACOTAR series because I wanted something like a lighter read after reading that roller coaster of books, because my heart was literally ripped out of my chest and put back in multiple times. So I wanted something that wasn't gonna do that. If you guys don't know about this book, it is a fake dating trope. It's about this girl and this guy who work together, and they're kind of like work enemies, I guess. He goes with her to Spain for a family member's wedding, and basically they're fake dating, that whole thing. I didn't like this book. In my notes, I was a lot nicer than I actually felt. For those of you who like slow burn, you'll love this. This was like almost too much of a slow burn, like the slowest of the slow burn. It took forever. I mean, I am a romance girl, so I did like the little bits of romance that it had in it, but everything else I found myself like skim reading, skipping over everything. I thought their banter was kind of cringy. I just wasn't really a fan overall. I know so many people like this one. I just didn't, and I can't, and I'm sorry about it. And I hate saying that I don't like books because I just get nervous. I'm gonna rate this one a 1.5 out of 5 stars. I was gonna give it a 2, but now that I really think about it, would I read this again ever? No. That's just gonna be all that I'm saying on that one. So the next book we have is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This one I actually really liked. First of all, can I just say, it was very descriptive. I didn't expect it to be that detail oriented. Usually I find like very intricate details like that, like describing like scenery or just people. It just bores me, but for some reason, I really like the way he did it. I don't know, it kept me interested and it really painted like the whole world really well for me, and especially it was super detailed in describing like all the moms and their personalities. Like, if you don't know what this is about, it's basically about this. All these like super rich, privileged moms are in a book club. They read true crime. He was really descriptive on like all of them and their personalities, and like it felt like I knew them just as well as the main character did, like seeing them through her eyes. I wrote this in my notes, but I read it in a southern accent in my head. It just made it so much more entertaining. So oddly enough, if you read this book, I highly suggest trying that. It just was so fun. For those of you who don't like things that are graphic, it definitely is a little bit morbid. Like I said, it was very descriptive in the setting and in the people, but also in the horror aspects. I'm not used to that. I didn't love how descriptive those parts were. It wasn't like too bad to where it made me dislike the book. Overall, I really liked this book. It was so fun to read during spooky season. I overall really liked it. I think I'm gonna rate this one a 3 out of 5 just because I really liked it, but it wasn't my all-time favorite. I would suggest this to anyone who's like looking for a spooky fall time read. This also isn't my like usual genre of book, so it was a lot out of my comfort zone. I think that's why I'm like reading it a little bit lower, but I still thoroughly enjoyed like the entire thing. So the next book we have is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. A couple things about this one though. To me personally, I thought the world building was honestly really confusing. I didn't really understand. I don't know if that was because I didn't read Shadow and Bone first and just read this one. Maybe that was why. But the world building was really hard for me to grasp in this book. So that was one negative thing that like it took me a while to like actually get into it because I just was so confused at the beginning. I did watch the show for this. I thought I didn't remember anything. I didn't remember like the plot points, if that makes sense, but I did remember like a lot more about the character specifically. Like as I was reading, I started like connecting the dots and being like, oh, that's who that was in the show. Once I like got a little bit farther in, I love romance and I really did love the characters even without the romance. The author just had a way of just making you fall in love with each character in its own different way. I loved every single one of them. There was like a little bit of a slow part in the middle. I don't want to say boring, but it just got slow. We're going with the points today, okay? I'm gonna rate it a 3.8 out of 5. I bet you can guess it, but the next book we have is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This one is the second book to the Six of Crows series. I have been like really busy recently, so yeah, I did do part audiobook, part reading it. I loved this one. I did cry at the end. I was distraught. By the end of this book, I was crying, and it just pulled on the heartstrings. I actually really liked the end. It was the perfect amount of sad and closure. The last one I rated a 3.8. I'm gonna rate this one a 3.9. Oh my god, my head hurts. And then last but not least, book number 6. Ignore the fact that there's no cover on it. This is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is the first book to the Harry Potter series. I can't believe I've never read this before. I lost the cover to these ages ago. These books are literally so old. They're my dad's from when he was a kid. It was so fun to read it as if like in their perspective, and everything's just always like a little bit more detailed and you can hear the thoughts in Harry's head. It's not the most like crazy or suspenseful, but I just love this one because it was so wholesome and nostalgic, because usually I watch them every Halloween season, but I was like, nope, I'm not gonna watch them again until I read the books. But I'm really excited to read the rest of the series, and I'm gonna rate this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Not my favorite book of all time, but I loved it so much just because of the nostalgia factor and the wholesomeness, and it was so good. That is going to be the end of my October reading wrap up. Comment down below more books that you would like to see me read, or if I should do like reading vlogs, as well as other videos you want to see just in general. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys very soon.